Well, good morning, everyone, and I'm thrilled to be back here in beautiful city of Brampton alongside Minister Calandra, Minister Williams, MPP Hardeep Gurwal, Amarjot Sandhu, and Graham McGregor. I also want to thank my good friend Mayor Brown and all the city councillors and staff for hosting us today. And I'll tell you, folks, they do an incredible job through the leadership with the mayor and the city councillors. And I was just telling the mayor when I was driving down Highway 410 when I was first married 36 years ago. I think it's 36, but anyways, 36 years ago, and man, has it changed. It is just booming. And I remember the 410, I think it was just a two-lane road, but you see the tremendous growth, and I'm just so proud to be standing with a quality team, and the city has been a tremendous partner to our government as we work to build the homes and critical infrastructure a growing Brampton needs. Our government is making historic investments in healthcare, including for a new medical school to train new doctors to care for local Brampton patients. Just imagine that, a young person grows up in Brampton, goes to the medical school, and then starts working in the hospital. And we're building a second hospital with a 24/7 emergency department so that Brampton residents can finally connect to the care they deserve. We're tackling bumper-to-bumper traffic by building the Hazel-McCallion line and bringing it to downtown Brampton. We're moving ahead with Highway 413, from planning and land acquisition to engineering and environmental assessments. And last summer, we introduced the Building Faster Fund. This new fund is a 3-year, $1.2 billion program that rewards municipalities for the progress they're making against their annual housing targets. Last year, Brampton broke ground on more than 7,000 new homes, achieving over 80% of their 2023 housing target. So today, I'm pleased to present the City of Brampton with a Building Faster Fund check of $25.5 million. This check, these funds, can be used by the City for infrastructure projects that lay the groundwork for more housing and community development. Brampton's progress in building homes is just absolutely incredible, and so is this mayor and the council. They're getting it done. We need other municipalities to follow their lead. Once again, congratulations to the mayor and the City of Brampton for your progress. We look forward to continuing working with you to build homes and to build infrastructure Brampton needs to reach its full potential. Thank you, and may God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'm going to hand it over to the champ of all champs. I was telling my minister last night, I wish we had more mayors like Mayor Brown, because he gets it. He gets things done. So, Mayor, over to you.
Well, what a great way to start the day. A big check from the province to build more housing. Thank you, Premier Ford, for your tremendous leadership in encouraging municipalities to build housing. Specifically, I want to recognize the chair of our planning committee who shares our joint commitment to build housing faster. Councillor Pleshu is doing a great job as planning chair. Our deputy mayor Harkirat Singh, Councillor Santos, Councillor Power, our CEO Marlon Caladine, and Councillor Vasante. We've got an incredible team here in the City of Brampton that is working so closely with our great team of MPPs, and we are very much determined to hit our housing goal that was established by the province, 113,000 new residential units over the next 10 years, and we don't want to just sign a pledge, we want to hit that pledge and exceed it. In 2023, Brampton approved 12,432 new housing units. That doesn't even include the 4,494 net new additional residential units that were registered. We are making huge strides. In 2023, Brampton realized $2.3 billion in construction value through building permits issued, of which $1.3 billion was for residential development. Brampton's overall construction values have increased 17% in 2022 and 37% from 2021. In Brampton, we are making it easy to put shovels in the ground and build housing. And one thing I'm very proud of, our planning commissioner, Steve Ganesh, is not here, but his team, our superstars, Premier. When I became mayor, they were at 12th spot on the build list for fastest approvals. They're up to 4th spot. Milton's still the fastest city for approvals, but We're determined to catch Milton. We want to be the easiest place to build, to invest, to create homes for families, and our planning commissioner knows that he has that goal as part of his mandate. Just to speak about the growth we're seeing in Brampton, Brampton's population has exploded, growing at 5 times the rate of the province, 4 times the pace of Canada's. And so when the Premier talks about coming here years ago when he lived here, anyone who lived here knows how different Brampton is, how the growth has been explosive. You know, one stat that I'd share that really speaks to what is very unique and explosive growth in Brampton is you look at the last census. In the last census from 2016 to 2021, Brampton had a 10% growth rate. You look at, adjacent municipality, Mississauga, where it actually declined by 1%. So you look at that contrast. Our commitment in this city to build housing is one that is determined and genuine. There'll be no red tape to make sure that a young person can actually afford a home in our city, and we are committed to work with the province to look at new ways to streamline that process. We'll do whatever we can to accelerate timelines, to cut red tape, and we're excited to continue to do everything we can to hit the provincial targets. And may I say, Minister Calandra has been phenomenal. Taking time to listen to us, to hear us, to look at different ways that we could get new housing on faster. So you couldn't have a better relationship with the province than we have right now. They've been so supportive. When the Premier mentioned the new hospital and the LRT, our proposal to connect into the downtown, those are the 2 big dreams we had of the city. And because of this provincial government, because of this Premier, they're getting it done. So we're very happy in Brampton today, and we're even happier with this check presentation to help us build more housing. Thank you so much, Premier. Great news for the city of Brampton.
Thanks.
We will go to reporters' questions. Please identify yourself by name and outlet. It will be 1 question, 1 follow-up. First question.
Good morning, Premier. This is Nitin Chopra from Prime Asia TV. First of all, congratulations to Mayor Brown for having a big check.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yes. Premier, yesterday we were into the job fair, which was in Toronto Convention Centre. 30 employers, thousands and thousands and thousands of applicants were there. Where are the jobs? Because the biggest employers of Canada, Bell Media, Desjardins, insurance sector, and Enbridge, they all laid off. And if we compare 2022 to 23, there is 27% to 35% increase in solvencies, bankruptcies, and layoff. So federal government is bringing the mass immigration, but onus lies with the province also, like where are the jobs and how can one person who is laid off can pay their mortgages? Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for the question. Right now, we're seeing, honestly, tremendous growth in different sectors, be it the EV auto sector and the Brampton plant we're able to keep open. And before, in the previous government, they were closing that plant. And because of the great collaboration and cooperation with the mayor and the city council, more and more people are calling our ECDev department, myself, calling the mayor, looking for industrial space. We're short about 300,000 people to fill the existing jobs that we have. And just to remind people, the previous government 5.5 years ago chased 300,000 jobs out of this province. Today, there's over 700,000 more people working today than there was 5.5 years ago because we reduced the burden off the backs of companies, reducing the burden to a tune of $8 billion. And I love this stat because of the manufacturers here in Brampton and around the province. Manufacturers created more jobs in Ontario than all 50 states combined, and we're going to see tremendous growth. Now, as for there's a couple different groups we're talking about. New immigrants going through the process, I welcome them with open arms. We received about 800,000 people last year, fastest growing jurisdiction in North America. And then there's the asylum seekers, and my heart bleeds for these people. They're coming here for a better life, but the federal government needs to step up. They're bringing these people in, and God bless them, but they aren't funding it. So we need the federal government to step up with funding to take care of these people, because all they want is a better life, and I understand it. So we're going to keep driving the economy. We're the fastest growing region economically and in population anywhere in North America. But it comes down to making sure we create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here and thrive and prosper and grow.
Premier, next question is of the colleges and universities. We need reforms in that because the biggest workforces of international students, they pay heavy fees to the colleges, universities here, but they don't get that education what a domestic student get. Because we have seen the system needs to be reformed, colleges, universities need more funding. We have seen protest here by the students after they get failed. Even they get their assignments done from the third party from other countries if college universities act on that. So what changes can be done in this so that we, in future, whatever workforce we get, we should get an educated workforce, not that, and there is a system here in the colleges that if you don't attend, there is no attendance system. Many colleges don't have an attendance system, and that means nothing to the system. So what changes in this field, college universities, can be done?
Yeah, well, first of all, Minister Jill Dunlop will be coming out on Monday to announce a really good announcement. But again, you know, you can't take a sledgehammer to the whole system that the federal government did, blindside everyone. And don't get me wrong, there's some bad actors in the private sector colleges, but there's some good schools as well. And I just believe in working within the ministry to kind of shoo out the bad actors, encourage the good colleges and universities to keep moving forward, because everywhere we go, anywhere in the world, myself or Vic Fideli, our number one selling feature are the colleges and universities and the students that are coming out of those colleges and universities. And that's what companies are looking for. Big corporations like Volkswagen and Stellantis and other companies coming in here, they look for the talent. And I'll put our colleges, universities, and our students up against anyone. They have the ingenuity that they need to build the province. But one example is really in the tech sector as well. At one time, 5.5 years ago, these students would graduate from, let's say, Waterloo. They'd hop on a plane, they'd go down to San Francisco Bay Area and Silicon Valley, and we'd never see them again. That's changed. Silicon Valley and San Francisco Bay Area employ about 388,000. Here in Ontario, we employ 422,000 people in the tech sector. It's growing rapidly. We've seen over a $20 billion investment in the tech sector. And now the tech sector involves everything right across the board, no matter if it's healthcare or building EV vehicles or the ag sector that we've shipped out $19.6 billion of agricultural products all around the world, specifically down in the U.S. So we need to sort that out, but the minister's coming out with a fabulous announcement on Monday.
Good morning, everybody. This is Hamreen Kaur from Punjab TV. Yes. Premier Ford, firstly, thank you so much for this great news this morning.
Thank you.
We cannot deny this fact that Ontario has welcomed immigrants with open arms, and Brampton remains to be their first preference. Yeah. However, on the other hand, we also know that as per the recent reports, we have seen that Brampton incurring high record-breaking rentals as well. When the cap of international students was laid, the context that was given by the Housing Minister, Sean Fraser, mentioned that housing crisis remained to be a major issue, and that is why the cap was laid. However, deep down we know that international students alone are not the matter. There are other factors as well. And what does the government plan to do in the future in order to curb the housing crisis that continue to be there and continue to involve, especially in the city of Brampton?
Well, thanks so much for the question. We're doing everything we possibly can, including the Building Faster Fund. I'm going to hand it over to the minister in 1 second. We're cutting red tape. We're working with municipalities across the province. And if everyone hit their targets or close to their targets like Brampton has, we'd resolve the housing crisis real quick. We saw purpose-built rentals go up 27% last year alone. But when you have 800,000 people show up to your province in 1 year, and then not to mention the international students as well, it's a challenge. We're trying to build as quickly as possible, cut the red tape, and get things moving forward. But I'll pass it over to Minister Calandra.
Yeah, thank you. That's a really good question. Look, the reality is this, as the Premier said, the cuts that were made by the federal government with respect to the international student program were made unilaterally without the knowledge of the province of Ontario, and that has massive impacts on our colleges and universities. I know Minister Dunlop was very forceful in suggesting that we needed some time to prepare for this, but at the same time, it is no secret, like we're here in Brampton, we were in the City of Toronto yesterday, we need all communities to get on board like Brampton has and Toronto has and some of the surrounding areas to build more homes for people. We have purpose-built rentals at the highest level in the history of the province, but we're going to go a step further. We understand how important it is that we have housing for students. Our next Housing Supply Action Plan is coming up in the next month, and we will begin to address that in a very, very aggressive way. But we do, and I can say that if I can say this, we need communities like Mississauga to get on board, start building the homes for people, the people that need it. We're bringing people to this province. We need people. We have jobs to fill, and we need all communities to get on board and help us build those homes. Thank you.
And if I could just add in, some of the announcements the province has made are going to make a massive difference in housing. The LRT project that the Premier mentioned, connecting to the downtown, that enables 30,000 housing units on a transportation corridor. This is exactly what we want to see, density that's transit-oriented. Amarjot Sandhu, the MPP in Brampton West, and Minister Calandra have been helping the city with the complications around Heritage Heights, which opens up 150,000 a population base of new housing. And so there is a ton of projects underway that are really going to help us deal with this population growth. And you're right, Brampton is ground zero for some of the population growth we're seeing in Canada, and we're grateful for the support that we're getting to help build the housing necessary to support that.
Good morning, Premier Ford.
Good morning.
My name is Abhishek. I'm from Parvasi Media Group. Last month, it was announced that post-secondary schools must guarantee housing for international students. This came after the announcement of Immigration Minister on capping of international students. What is the provincial government doing for building those, actually ensuring that these international students get housing and they fulfill this criteria, and an announcement which was made by Ontario government?
Yeah, and I apologize, I got to repeat what we were just saying, but we have to cut red tape, get permits out into the field quicker. And I'll give you one example, Guelph. Guelph City Council actually voted against putting housing on the grounds of University of Guelph, I should say. That's unacceptable. We need to make sure that if it's especially on the grounds of any university or college, it's automatic. They get to build what they want, what they need to fill the requirements of the students that they see coming in from around the world. But we're going to continue just cutting the red tape and getting permits out there as quickly as possible, because that's what the holdup is in a lot of cases. Not all cases, but a lot of cases. It's how quickly you can get the shovels in the ground.
Thank you, Premier. I have a follow-up question for Mayor Brown.
Yes,
please. Good morning, Mayor Brown. As you mentioned that Brampton is seeing growth many folds than some of the biggest cities in Canada. And we are still short of our target by 20%. There's one way to say that we have reached 80% housing target, but then the other way to say is 20% short of the housing target. When the population is growing at that rapid rate, and we are still short of housing, how do we plan to come up to the speed?
Well, I think Brampton has one of the most ambitious housing targets, and we welcome that. We know that growth is happening here. So when we say we're 83% last year of the provincial target, I am fully confident we're going to hit our 10-year target, and I think every year you're going to see increases in housing construction. What we're setting the table for right now is significant housing construction. The projects I mentioned, whether it's Heritage Heights or our downtown transit corridor, across Queen Street, we are encouraging and cultivating density. And so I have no concerns that we're not going to be able to meet our housing target. We're going to. And certainly some of the improvements we're seeing in the process provincially to help streamline new housing is going to make it even easier. something that Minister Calandra has already spoken about planning coming down to the local level so there's not duplication or extended holds on new housing construction. That's going to help. The situation is getting better, and I'm confident. We got a great planning chair. We got a tremendous planning commissioner. We're going to hit our targets.
Thank you.
Morning, Premier.
Good morning.
Claude Baudin from CBC.
Hi.
The Toronto Star is reporting that your government will be providing an additional $1.2 billion to universities and colleges over the next 3 years. First off, is that number correct? And why is it so much lower than your own panel of experts have recommended?
Well, I'm going to leave that for Minister Dunlop to announce on Monday, and she'll be giving all the details. But it's a really, really good announcement.
And two of your former staffers have been appointed to a committee selecting judges. It's been deemed blatant patronage. Are you okay with this?
100% I am. We got elected to get like-minded people in appointments. And by the rules, you can't have lawyers picking judges, so you have to have citizens. I'm not going to appoint some NDP or some Liberal. I've made it very clear where I stand with judges. Justice of the peace and judges, they're letting criminals out. These guys are kicking in doors, putting guns to people's heads, handing over the keys, and guess what? When we catch them, we find out that they're out on bail for 8 times. How would you like it if someone kicked your door in, put a gun to your head, and all of a sudden you find out that criminal that did that is out on the streets the next day? It's unacceptable. So every single appointment I can to find tough judges, tough JPs, to keep guys in jail, and I say guys because 99.9% are guys, I'm going to do it. So that's part of democracy. You voted a party in, and I'd say that no matter what party's in. If the feds want to appoint Liberals up in the federal government, that's up to them. I'm appointing like-minded people that believe in what we believe in, keeping the bad guys in jail, and I'm proud of the job that they're doing. And I'm going to continue doing it.
Good morning, Premier. Francis from CTV. You were earlier talking about asylum seekers. I'm just wondering, how is this money that you're giving to the city of Brampton today going to help that situation?
Well, what we need to do is get the feds to step up with the asylum seekers. You know, when they're here, we're taking care of them, no matter if their kids are here or they're going to school or they're getting the health care that they need. But the feds are just sitting back and not contributing anything, absolutely nothing. So that's a big issue. We need them to step up. They always talk about housing. Well, they need to step up for the asylum seekers. You can't have people in. You can't not notify us that 800,000, on a separate note, 800,000 people are showing up to our province. We need them to step up to the plate.
Can I also have a response from the Mayor of Brampton also? Thank you.
Yep.
I share the Premier's sentiment that we need the Government of Canada to step up. They're the ones who are, have the immediate role in immigration. We've seen this surge in asylum claimants that municipalities are not equipped to handle. In November, we had a tragedy. An asylum claimant from Nigeria lost their life sleeping outside, it's heartbreaking. In a country as prosperous as Canada, that shouldn't happen. At the time, we had unexpected cost on the region of Peel, $26 million. We got some federal funding, $10 million, towards this surge in our shelter capacity. I found out yesterday we're now at 400% capacity. 400% capacity. That means there's asylum claimants continuing to sleep outside. We had a tragedy last weekend, an asylum claimant from Kenya who lost their life. We need the Government of Canada to deal with this. It's not a problem that is restricted to Toronto and Montreal. This is the doorsteps at Pearson right now. We're seeing it. I'll be meeting with the federal minister on Monday to really highlight that this is a humanitarian crisis, and we need help.
This will be the last reporter.
Sorry, to the mayor.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely. Mayor, just your reaction to the second death of a migrant, the Dundas shelter. Do you know what happened, and Are you concerned, and what will you do about it, or what will you guys do?
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I had the chance to visit with a lot of the asylum claimants when the surge started in the summer, and we warned the federal government, with mild temperatures, warm temperatures in the summer. As soon as it got cold, it was going to become a humanitarian disaster. I met some African asylum claimants, and it's by and large almost all from Africa who are in this predicament. And I met some of these asylum claimants in November, and they were asking me, does it get colder? No winter clothing, no support. If Canada wants to be that welcoming country, and they broadened, the requirements, the basic responsibility of the government of Canada is to make sure that someone comes to Canada to, pursue that Canadian dream, that they're not left abandoned to fall through the cracks and sleeping outside in winter, and that's happening right now. So we need more help. And my worry is that the tragedy we saw last weekend, which there was a medical issue as well there that complicated it. I'm worried there's going to be more tragedies.
Thank you.
Well, again, I just want to thank the mayor for his leadership and council on building homes a lot quicker than other jurisdictions. This is my prediction here, and I think it's going to happen over time. They'll be the third largest city, overtaking Mississauga in Ontario. And then my next prediction is they're going to grow even larger than Ottawa. They aren't far away. Ottawa's a million people, but they're building a lot quicker right now. So we're through the leadership of the mayor and the council over a number of years, they'll be the second largest city in Ontario, and I want to congratulate them. We're going to continue building Ontario, but building Brampton with a new medical school. We've put in long-term care. They're getting transit. We're building the 413. I love the people of Brampton. I had my roots here for 5 years, and they're just incredible people. So thank you, and God bless each and every one of you. Thanks. Okay. Well,